Hey there, my crafty friends! Today I'm going to recreate the bokeh effect for you using Copic markers. I've been seeing this effect everywhere in card making lately, and I've been really interested in trying it out. I was discouraged when I couldn't find a way to recreate it without using stamps or colored ink or, the white ink, and those were things I just didn't have. So, I'm fairly new to card making, and I just didn't have those things available to me. I decided to play around with it and see if I could do it, and it turned out great. So I'm sharing the technique with you guys, in hopes that you're able to have fun with this trend too. If you aren't familiar with bokeh, it's often used in photography, and they are the circular blurs that you see in photographs. Alright, so let's get started. This is the one I already did. You can see that. And I've cut 3 of these, and they're fairly small. They're cut at they're cut at 3 and 2.5. So I have 3 of them. I have the other one here. And I've also already started my card base. It's just black cardstock, and it's A2 size. And all you need to do it is I'm using Bristol paper instead of using like a white cardstock. I normally color on Bristol paper when I'm using my Copics because it can hold them a little bit better, and I find I can blend on it easier. And the one I'm using is by Strathmore, and it comes in a packet, like a pad. So also you need your Copics. So I'm using these 3 colors as the colored part of the bokeh effect, and they are BG05, which is Holiday Blue, B12, which is Ice Blue, and BV13, which is Hydrangea Blue. Now you can use whatever colors you want, but I do recommend having a light, a medium, and a dark. And generally you want them in the same color family. I think that ends up looking the best. You can play around with it and see what you like though. You also need a colorless blender. So if you haven't already guessed, that's what's going to bring the color up and give it that blurred effect. And you can often, if you're not piling on the markers too much, if you're not piling on the color too much, sorry, all you'll need is a colorless blender. But if you, like this, I went pretty dark on in some spots, as you can see. So I just went over some of the circles that I wanted to be brighter using a Sharpie paint pen. And this one is oil-based. I also have the water-based ones, and I think either will work, but I used my oil one. Alright, you also need, it's not absolutely necessary, but it helps, is some sort of stencil, a circular stencil. And I do have one that has a bunch of different size circles. I think architects are supposed to use them. Anyways, I don't know what they're made for, but I use them for stuff like this. And I got it at Staples, and I think it was around $10, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't use that for this because I thought I would show you something else you could use. And so I'm just showing you, I have an empty roll of Scotch brand, it was painter's tape. And see, it's just a perfect circle, so it works, and you can take it off the edge. And then I'm just using a little washi tape. So we're gonna get started. And after I'm done showing you how to do this, I'm going to make a card with the little pieces I'm using, just to show you guys. All right. So first I'm going to start off with just a light base of my lightest color. Okay. And all I've done is mask this off so that I have a little bit of a white frame. Oops. Sorry, I hit my camera there. Alright. This just ends up being such a pretty effect, and the card I'm making it's going to end up looking a little more masculine. So I know people are always looking for masculine cards, and I think this is a good option for something like that. And it's just going to be a simple greeting, like a simple hello card. Alright, it doesn't have to be even for this part or anything, so I can leave it a little bit streaky. I just want to get some color down. And then I'm going to go in with my medium color, which is the BG05. I'm going to take my biggest circle, and I'm just going to start drawing some in. When I'm doing these, I do want the color to be more even now. I actually find that doing this effect, from what I've seen of other people doing it, that the Copics are actually a lot faster. You don't have to wait for anything to dry. You don't have to, spend forever blending or anything like that. It's just easy. Okay. I'm gonna add one more right in here. Now I'm gonna go in with my lighter color. And I'm gonna add a few big, like very big. Well, very big according to, or and compared to this little paper. And because they're alcohol markers, they blend together very well. That's what I'm saying, like you don't really need to fuss with it, it just kind of does it itself when you're layering them like this. Right, and I'm just gonna keep going with that. And I'll do a smaller one right here. Alright, now I'm going to go in with a darker color. And I'm going to use my smaller circle for that. Just going to throw one right here. You can even color within the circle if you want. Stops you from making a mistake and going out of the lines. Okay. Even that out a little bit. And we'll throw in some more. And because I layered this one on top of the other one, I'm making it a little more saturated, so it's a little more darker, or a little more dark, I guess. A little darker. I always have so much trouble speaking when I'm filming. Alright. And then we're just going to keep layering the colors on. Just going in different orders. Oops. I've seen some really, really beautiful cards done with this effect. And, you know, they almost remind me of like bubbles. I could see this being a really good effect for doing like, you know, something under the sea themed, or bath themed, or like even they look good for celebration themed things. Like I could see this being a really great background for a birthday card, or just a general everyday congratulations, I guess. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with this actually. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit for just a second. Actually, no, that's pretty dry already. Doesn't have to be super dry, just it's very saturated. So, alright, so I'm just going in with my colorless blender now, and I'm going to start off by going in with, I'm just going to do one big one right here, because I don't want them to be all big, especially on such a small card, or a small base. And so you just go in and pull the color up. I'm actually going to go in and use the bigger end here for right now. Get the job done a little bit faster. And you know, you don't have to make them all, you don't have to take up all of the color. You want them to be varying intensities of this. Just makes it look, I guess, more accurate to what the technique is. Alright, now I'm just going to go in with the smaller one. We'll draw on some, this looks like a good place. Okay. I think I might need to re-ink this actually. Yeah, it seems like it. Okay, I'm gonna just go off camera for a minute and I'm going to re-ink this so that we can keep going. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, we're all inked up again. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. So we were just doing this circle. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay. I'm gonna go in and do just a couple more of these bigger ones. And sometimes you have to let the colorless blender set a bit before you know if you need to go back over it or not. I think I'm okay for this one now. I'm just going to do a couple smaller circles, and I'm just going to draw them in by hand. You can obviously use a stencil if you're more comfortable doing that, but yeah. When they're smaller, they're easier to make fairly perfect. All right. Make that one a bit bigger, actually. Have it go into the bigger one here. And you just, you know, you can just eyeball where you want them to be. It's all visual, right? So there's really no method to my madness here when it comes to them. Just whatever you think looks like what you want to do. That you think will look good. I swear everything is like a tongue twister to me. Right, I'm just gonna go back over these ones. And there we go. And then this is, you know, not a necessary step, but I have a paint pen. And I'm going to go over a few of these. I think I'm going to go over the small one. And these don't come out super opaque, so that's why I'm using this. And it'll give you the same kind of effect that like a white ink pad would do. And see, even as it dries, it'll get a little bit more transparent. Maybe I'll go back in on this one. So I waited for it to dry for a second so I could see what it was going to do. I think that's good. I like that. That's looking really good. All right. And then when you're done with it, you can peel off the tape and just pull it back on itself so it doesn't rip the paper. Also, when I taped it down, this is just painter's tape. I stuck it on my clothing first a couple times and then pulled it off so that it wasn't as tacky, so that it doesn't rip the paper. So you've got a nice frame going on here. You'll notice that in the places that you use the colorless blender, it will spread, because that's what the colorless blender does. It pushes the color away. And to fix that, it's really easy. All I do is I take the colorless blender and I go over it a little bit just to lighten it. And sometimes that's even enough. Like if you can just pretty much make it disappear. You can just make it go away. But this one looks like it's going to be a pretty tough stain on the paper. So I'm going to try to get it out as much as I can. And then I'm going to go over the frame with the white paint pen. And that'll clean it right up. You won't even know. I mean, obviously, if you don't want a frame around your effect, then that's not a worry at all. You could even just cut that out. Alright, I'm just going to go over that with the paint pen now. Alright, so now I'm going to put together the card. And to do that, it's super simple. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing right now while I'm finishing this up, and then I'm going to speed up that part of the video. So I'm just going to layer the three little framed bokeh effects that I made. And then I have a little stamped hello that I've just cut out on some white cardstock. Then I'm just going to stick on top of the bottom one that I'm putting on the black A2 card frame that I already showed you. And that's super simple, so I'm just going to speed up making the last one of these so you can see it one more time, even if it is sped up. And then I'll throw together the card for you. Alright. here is the finished card. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, you can go ahead and press that subscribe button, and you will be notified whenever I post a new video. Let me know in the comments below how you do the bokeh effect, and if you try this out or make anything using this or any of my other tutorials, I would love to see them. You can post them to my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My profile names are in the description box below. I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time.